Happy holidays, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I have another speedrun for you. This one of a brand new Christmas horror game titled Christmas Nightmare. Now, as we go through this game, I'm going to be doing a story explanation as well, so I hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's start in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the first portion of this is going to be a little bit boring. Our character just got home from work. He wants to go inside, aka why we are beelining it straight into this house, and he wants to grab a beer. He's going to find out in just a moment, though, that he's out of beer. So, unfortunately for him, he's not going to get to relax. He's got to walk all the way down to the gas station and grab a six-pack. Actually, we end up getting a lot more than just a six-pack, but he doesn't explain that at any point in time. But that's okay. So, the first thing we're doing in this house is we're going to go to our living room. We're going to see that, the Christmas decorations look great, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to go to the fridge and check that beer. The first part of this game is pretty boring. There's no big jump scares or anything like that. There's a super funny section we're going to get to in just a minute where we go to the gas station though, so I think you guys will enjoy that. But basically now we're going back outside and we're going to go down the street where all of the different lights are. And it's kind of unfortunate that we don't get to check the street out more in this speedrun because some of the lights look really, really good. There's like a dragon one. There's a Sasquatch. There's a bunch of just random things in there. But if you want to check that out, you can watch my full video or you can buy the game on Steam if you want. Now, this middle section is a little weird. There's a note from the neighbors. Basically, the neighbors hate them. They call them like swear words and they say all these bad things about him. I don't know why. They say that he's a Scrooge and that he's like just doesn't have the Christmas spirit. But if you look at his house, it's decorated. He's got decorations on the inside, etc. So it's a little confusing. He also you also have the option to light fireworks off in the beginning of that, but right afterward, the neighbors leave that note for you, and they're like, "Hey, you're a freaking jerk for firing off our fireworks." So I don't think you're actually supposed to touch those fireworks. Okay, so back to where we are currently. We're walking down this road. This leads into the gas station, and then at the gas station, we're going to grab our supplies that we want. So, how did this story come about? Well, our main character, Connor here, apparently he had a wife and a kid. They're either separated or they have some sort of temporary split, and so they're not together right now. So what had happened was the kid had essentially cursed the dad. He wished that the family was brought back together. There's this creepy elf doll that the family keeps, and the kid somehow got a hold of it, and then he made that wish. So you're going to find out that one of Santa's elves is going to be creepily stalking this guy now. All right, so I'm going to open this door here, and then I'm going to quickly position myself in front of the shopping baskets as close as I can before it triggers this cutscene, and that way I save a little bit of time. Not much, but a little bit. So we're now in the gas station. I'm grabbing some items here. He wants me to grab a bunch of these different things. Thankfully, they're all lit up, so, I don't even know what he's grabbing, but I'm just grabbing it as quick as I can. There's the beer. We definitely need that. And then we finish it off with milk. Now, you see, I walked back to that center portion there because this next section will not load unless you go back to that part. So we have to go there regardless, even if it's kind of moving backwards. Now, this part is super funny when you're playing through the game. This is Jack. He's essentially the attendant at this gas station, and man, he is really going through it in that bathroom. I don't know what he ate, but he is just pooping his guts out. Explosive diarrhea, the whole 9 yards. Now, you may have missed it there, but that was the first encounter with the elf demon, whatever the heck you want to call him. He's running across the floor. We don't have time for that, though, so we just run right out of the gas station after we pay. This is another portion where we're just walking straight down this road. So in a second here, we're going to hear that elf break through a glass window or something. The main character thinks that it was this guy's explosive diarrhea that caused that loud noise, but I'm here to tell you no, it's an elf, and that elf's about to traumatize us. So we're just walking back home here. A few things I didn't mention once we get back to this main section is that there are 2 notes, and those are the notes from the neighbors. We didn't look at it in the first one. We're not going to look at it now. Basically, if you walk past it, you're going to save yourself probably about 30 to 40 seconds. So I'm not reading the notes, but the notes are pretty funny. They're like, "Oh, you're an asshole. Don't ever touch our fireworks." Like, why can't you just leave? Just weird stuff like that. Okay, we are almost to the house now. So yeah, the neighbors hate him. They leave these nasty notes. I think that one there says you're a Grinch neighbor asshole or something weird like that. I don't know what it said, but we just skip over it and we're back home. Now this is where the spooky things start to intensify. You can hear our guy taking off his jacket or whatever. And then immediately after, we're going to beeline it to the table, drop the groceries down. And now what he's saying essentially is, hey, you know, I need to decorate the tree. Actually, quick pause. This is the only part in this run that really screwed me up. That door normally opens the other way, I swear. And that time it didn't. It locked me in for just a second. So I probably lost about 4 seconds there, but that's okay. Anyways, he wants us to decorate the tree. We head down into the basement, grab those decorations, and now we're going to make the tree pretty. Interestingly enough, I can still move while this is going on, so I walk backwards, grab a beer, and I'm going to beeline it straight for the couch. That way we can trigger the cutscene, essentially. All right, so he's going to drink that beer, unwind a little bit, fall asleep, and then when we wake up, the elf is going to be here. Surprise, surprise. This part does take a little while to load, unfortunately, but we'll be out of this in a second. Yeah, that singing, that's not a good sign. So we're going to wake up, we're going to see a lighter out on the table, and the power is going to be out. So a few things are going to happen here, and I'll try to explain them as best as I can, because we're going to be moving throughout the house very quickly, just essentially trying to trigger the next sequence of events. So here we go, we are restarting the timer now. We're going to grab that lighter, and we're going to go straight for the basement. Our character, though, finds out that the basement's locked. So we go back, and lo and behold, there's a dead body, blood everywhere. And we're just going to read this note quickly and close out of it. And now the basement door is unlocked, so we can go see what the heck is going on with the power. We go down here, we hear some weird noises, and we're going to turn sharply there. And we're going to look at the fuses right there. We notice 3 of the fuses are out, so now we are essentially going to be rushing to find those fuses. There's a body in that bag there. We just look at the note, move on. And then there's going to be another note right here. Ignore the creepy crawler. We're going to read that, close it. It essentially says, hey, you know, there's a fuse in the fridge. Go check the fridge. So we go grab that. Now, of course, the stairs are boarded up. So we're going to read that note, head to the garage, and magically there's a crowbar here. Again, a lot of this is happening quickly, so I'll try to explain as best as possible. Once you click on these boards, you can immediately walk through, so I save a few seconds by running straight through there. We're going to ignore all the other rooms, even though there's a bunch of noise. That guy's going to rush us. That actually scared me really badly when I first went through. There's a note on the wall. We read that. There's another note in here. We're going to read that, and it's going to trigger the guy to be on the ceiling. There he is. Now we go back outside. We're just going to walk into the bathroom and then walk out. I don't know if that's necessary, but I know the next portion is going to be in the bathroom, so I do think there's some parts that trigger it, including this, where we go to the front door, someone's knocking, we have to click it, and now this guy shows up at our table. Now that we've done that, we're going to go upstairs, and there's going to be a noise that we hear in just a moment. There it is. So once that noise goes off, we know the paper has loaded in, and we're going to go back downstairs. At this point, I'm actually just waiting for the phone to trigger. I think it is on a timer, so I'm just sitting, looking around, looking at notes. There was really nothing that I needed to do, but I was just looking around to kill some time. We're going to get this call. Santa's going to breathe into it, and then we're going to hear the piano go off, and we're going to go read a note at the piano as well. That note is going to say, hey, you know what? Go check the bathroom. I just made a fleshy, Christmas tree for you. So we check that note, and we head upstairs. And yeah, if this isn't the most beautiful Christmas tree you've ever seen, I don't know what is. We're going to get another jump scare from the little tiny elf. And he doesn't really scare us. We only see a glimpse of him. Now we're going straight into the basement at this point. We now have all 3 fuses, so we're going to load those up and then flick the power back on. That doesn't really matter though, because we don't turn any of the lights on, so we're still walking around in the dark, and it's going to get even darker in just a few moments here. We go back into the living room. This light is on for some reason. And we're going to find a body with a note. We find another note in front of that bear. That is required to trigger this sequence where everything starts exploding. And unfortunately, we kind of have to just sit here while this goes on. There's no way for us to progress because we need to go back into that garage and that door is locked. So we're waiting. The door's open now, and then we can trigger this cutscene. It's really short. We're going to get another jump scare right after it as we turn back around. So far, we're making really good time here. At this point, I had already gotten, I think, like an 11:30, and so I'm aiming for under 11 minutes. And there's that jump scare. And as you'll see at the end, I shaved off about a minute here. All right, so Connor goes to sleep. He's kind of thinking, oh, okay, that was just a dream. I'm awake. And there's a note and a lighter on that table. We actually don't interact with those. So this next part is going to be a little dark. I apologize for that, but it saves quite a bit of time not grabbing that lighter, not grabbing that paper, and reading through it. So we just leave it be and we go upstairs. Actually, one thing I should mention about the lighter, one of the reasons I don't grab it too is that sometimes it just gets stuck there and I keep picking up the paper. So eventually I just gave up and I was like, I'll just save the time. So now he notices the decorations are gone. We're going to go back upstairs and we're going to go straight to his bedroom, even though all these doors are opening. And we're going to find a body in here, and that's his wife's body. Now, the idea behind all of this is that, Connor, you got to fix your situation. You're acting like a drunk, put your family back together, or this is what could happen to them, essentially. I don't know why it's so violent, but, it is what it is. We're going to get another jump scare right here. But it doesn't matter because we're not scared anymore. We're just running straight through. We see this guy go downstairs. He tries to close it. Not on our watch. We open that door and we head to this next Christmas tree here. There's a note here, and then right behind us is going to be the little elf man with another note, and he's wanting us to read that, but we're not going to. We're going to go back upstairs, read this last note, and then we are almost at the end of the game here. We're going to get one more scare before we can then make a phone call to our wife. And there's that scare. So we're now going to call our wife. We're basically going to apologize, tell her that we love her, we want our family back together, I want this elf to leave me alone, etc., etc. And look, and yeah, he needs to stop drinking beer too. And we've done it, you guys. So that was a 10:30:52. Pretty good. I honestly think this time is going to be pretty much unbeatable unless someone finds some weird glitch that they can do. They might shave a few seconds off, but it's going to be right around the same pace. If you guys made it to this point in the video, please consider subscribing. It really helps my channel grow. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you all on the next one. Thank you so much.